I've taken the starter motor off the Gilera. Pretty easy actually. It's 4 bolts hold this bearing housing or whatever it is. It's basically there's a needle roller in the end there, and so yeah, bearing housing. There's a gear sticks up out of the crankcases that this engages with. Ooh, it's a nasty looking. Oh, I see. There's a spring-loaded, some kind of spring-loaded engagement thing in there. Yeah, so 4 bolts in there, 2 bolts in the end this way that you can just get at underneath the exhaust, and that's it. I tried shorting out the solenoid with a screwdriver and it was exactly the same, wouldn't turn over properly. I can't believe that the cable's changed significantly, so I'm just going to take the end off here and have a look, see what I can see underneath this cover. I doubt it will be as simple as warm brushes, but you never know. Where's my screws and bolts holder thing? I don't think I said on the previous video, but after the MOT, I was hoping that having ridden it there, the engine would all be kind of looser and the starter would be able to work, but it didn't. And there was a guy there after it passed the MOT. There was a guy there who was just sort of seemed to be a friend of the guy running the place, and luckily he was able to give me a push, but it was flipping hard work starting it. There's a lot of compression and yeah, not easy. Okay, oh, it's coming out this way. Okay, so this, I imagine, is some kind of gearbox. Yeah, it's a planetary gearbox. I can see the planetary gears or satellite gears or whatever they're called turning around inside there. And this is the winding armature. So how's this? Oof, a lot of dust coming off there. Okay, I need to hold that still. Oh, it doesn't smell too good. Something to grip that with without mashing the end up. God, it really stinks. Burnt brushes. It's not that electrical burnt smell. So this is the brush holder coming off here. Okay, that. Where did that washer come from? Presumably there, I think. Smells weird. There's a ton of I mean, an absolute ton of brush dust in there. And well, actually they are. How do I get this off? I think the brushes are. It's got 4 brushes, and by the fact that this came out very easily, I'm thinking that there's not a lot of pressure on them. There's no signs of like real cooking or anything. Oh, ooh. Yeah. It's split open. Can you see that? It's got a giant split in the. Oh no, which way round did that come from? That one came from there, right? That's not good. So the commutator's very worn, and there's a giant split in the commutator ring. I think I'm going to have to look for a replacement starter motor. That doesn't look repairable at all. I wonder who makes this. There are no. Oh, what does that say? CEM. CEM. Do these? If I undo these, does that? Yeah. Oh, that one. Does the brush holder come off? So I would hope, perhaps, that the motor is relatively standard and the gearbox might be Gilera specific. So yeah, I'd say there's like a ton of brush dust, and it really smells very strange. Anyway, but the commutators, yeah, it's weird. That is just split open. So I think it's not good. What do you think? Some research required. I quite often go on to popular internet auction sites to see if there are Nordwest parts on there, and I have never seen a starter motor on there. So anyway, the armature that I showed you, I found someone that could rewind it. Not a crazy price, but also quite a lot, but more than probably a starter motor costs. But I thought I didn't have any alternative, so I'm waiting for that to come back. But of course, like buses, I randomly started contacting people on said auction site, popular auction site,
and few people are selling Nordwest parts. There's some people selling plastics, a few other bits and pieces. Very often brake pads, genuine to fit a Nordwest brake pads. But anyway, I contacted a guy and asked him if he had a starter motor, and he said, well, he got one for a 600, a Gilera Saturno, I think it is, and he'd got bits of one of a Nordwest, but not a complete one, and I think not the armature. But he told me about a guy in Germany that specialised in Nordwest parts that I hadn't come across before, I'd seen before. And yeah, well, long story short, I've got a parcel from Germany. Guess what's in it? Wow. Bunch of recycled plastic by the looks of it. Cute. Slicing into my finger. It is funny the way some people pack things. It's like they're expecting a nuclear explosion to happen. I'm sure this blade is should be quite sharp, but I don't want to cut this stuff. Cling film, huh? There's like 5,000 layers of cling film. This must be an entire roll of cling film and sellotape and stuff. Oh, I can see something inside. Looking good. Wow, big lump of unrecyclable stuff, I'd imagine. Anyway, it looks pretty nice, this one. Is that the same? It's not the same. Does that matter? This is what... So someone mentioned the word long nose, but I don't think it matters. It just is the same. That's the same. That's the same length, hopefully. Oh, this is the planetary gearbox, by the way. That's so I think these are called the planets, and this is a ring, and the well, I haven't got the armature anymore. Gear on the middle, and it's basically you get quite a high reduction in a small space, I believe, is the advantage of a planetary gearbox. But anyway, that looks like it's the same length. So yes, similar but different. I guess I was going to say, I guess I could put that one on there, but of course I can't because it won't reach into the bearing. And it doesn't have that... Oh, it sounds a lot better. Yeah. So, anyway, I'll put a bit of lubrication in there, I think. And I am going to fit it onto the bike. Everything else I think is the same. That looks the same, right? So yes, I'm going to try and fit this on the bike. I have no reason to believe that it won't work. And
then when I get the armature back, we'll rebuild this one and I'll have a spare. The bearing is much bigger. Much bigger. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing in this long nose one. But it doesn't have the shock absorber thing in it, which I guess doesn't matter. But the gearbox and everything feels a lot nicer. So yeah, that will be the next scene of this video. Is I'll fit this and hopefully it will all work. I can't find some grease right now, but I'll stick a bit of grease in the end here, I think. Looks a bit dry, can't do any harm. And I'll put it on the bike and hopefully it will go, and then I might even ride it a bit. See you in a bit. I'm just going to pop the starter motor on. The battery's not disconnected, I don't think, so I need to make sure I don't... Actually no, that's the other side of the solenoid, so that's fine. But yeah, let's see if I can get this on. It came out without having to remove anything else, I seem to remember. Maybe I took it out from the other side. Oh, that's interesting. I'm sure I didn't take the side panels off. How weird. So, never say you're just going to quickly do something. Oh. Is that going to go? Well, what's different? Let's try it. Now I've got it completely wedged right in front of the camera. Okay. Well, I don't recall it being that difficult to get out, but anyway. I did want to put a bit of grease on the end here. So the bearing in this one is smaller than the other motor, but I'm not sure. I didn't actually look up yet to see whether this one was considered any better or worse than the one I've taken off. So I'll do these 4 up and then move the camera around the other side. Again, these ball-ended things are a blessing for fiddly jobs like this. I can't actually see what I'm doing at all, so I assume you may be able to. So yeah, compared to quite a few other bikes, I'd say getting this starter on and off is... Oh, I shouldn't say it. I won't say it until I've finished it. This one's certainly a bit fiddly. I don't know why they don't put the ball end on both ends. I guess there's a reason for it. But I could do with it on this one right now. Okay, let's move around the other side. There's just enough room to get in. Not sure if you're going to be able to see under here, but I'll try. And the light, of course, is very bright. One. How on earth did I get to this one? I did manage it without without taking the exhaust off to get it off. This just might be a bit tricky to line it back up. I think that's gone through. Is it going to tighten up? Yes, it is. Okay, just the... Can you see? No, you can't see that yet. Hold on. Just the power connector to go now. You can just see the nut here. Get the cable. Okay, the moment of truth. It's got two chances. Do I bother trying to start it? I'll put the choke on. Fuel I already put on. Run. What do we think? 50-50? Nothing at all. Oh, turn it on properly. Nothing at all. But the solenoid's not clicking. Have I disturbed? Oh, I've broken a solenoid wire. Broken a solenoid wire. Right, okay. Short-term bodge. Just get a screwdriver. Okay, just to note, what I'm going to do is that one of the wires, the signal wires to the solenoid, has broken. So the solenoid, when I press the start switch, it doesn't operate the solenoid. So what I'm going to show, it's not hot wiring, but I'm just going to short out the solenoid, which will turn the engine over. And if I didn't have the ignition key, it still wouldn't start. But anyway, let's see what happens. Oh, yes. Okay, I don't have time to do the solenoid wire right now, but I'll do it. Should only take as long as I can find the other end of the wire, it won't take long. And then, who knows, maybe I can go out for a ride or so. One step forwards, still another step to go.